This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Pack here. So Questing Druid's good, but it's not like insane. Like it's not that easy to make its Quirion Dryad ability work, which is the, that's the text box is the same as Quirion Dryad, an older card. Yeah, I do like Stormcloud Vanguard a lot. It's pretty easy 2-for-1, a huge beater late. Utopia Sprawl's good in most green decks. Glass Casket's not bad either. I think we're probably on the Vanguard, though. Yeah, we're too early in 17 lands data for it to be super meaningful, but most of the things you guys are saying doesn't surprise me too much. Yeah, I think we take the Vanguard here. Not that hard to have a target for the first half, and even just blowing up an aura is actually reasonable, a token aura, because you get this huge creature later. And then there's like real targets you can hit too. So, Stormcloud Vanguard it is. The green card in this pack is bad, unfortunately. We do have a Picnic Ruiner who's good, if you're in a red-green deck. The Firebolt's good. It is less good in some decks than others, but it's pretty good. I think I like the Ruiner slightly more. Knight of Doves is interesting, but it takes enough work to build around that I don't love taking it with a second pick. Yeah, we had a really good Goblin Bombardment deck in our last draft, so... And we weren't even, like, all in. I mean, we just had a bunch of creatures and a few cards that made multiple bodies. So, it worked out pretty well. Okay. So both of these white cards are really good. They do require another color of mana, potentially, to cast the other side, but they're both quite good. And I'm taking one of them. Yeah, I mean, I like Curse of the Werefox, but I don't really think of it as premium removal. I guess the Acolyte works better with what we already have, and it's also, if we ended up in only mono-white, I'm not mono-white, but not in green at all, it's pretty good. The Shepherd gets less good in that situation, but it's still okay, but I think I like the Acolyte a little more because we have one green card, basically, is the tiebreaker for me. So far we've taken 3 adventures. Not too surprising. Well, here's our friend Thunderous Debut again. It's powerful and all, but I don't love the idea of taking it now. I mean, maybe it's just because of the bad taste in my mouth from the other day, I guess, but yesterday is when it was. But yeah, I mean, you have to end up in blue-green or red-green, or it doesn't really work. It might be worth taking this early, but like I said, I had the bad experience yesterday has me not as interested. I think we take the Financier. Like, it's just a good white card that can help you catch up in mana, and then, you can cash in stuff for treasure for cards later in the game. If Thunderous Debut wheels, I think I would seriously consider taking it. I do like Hopeless Nightmare a reasonable amount. I'm probably going to take the Curse here, though. Yeah. Red cards here are all fine, but not amazing or anything. So yeah, we'll take the Curse. Okay, so here's a Root Rider Fawn, which is good anyway, but if Thunderous Debut wheels, I think we would seriously consider taking it, and I think we take this anyway, like I just said. Might be green-white, in which case it might be a little harder for us to ramp, but green is where most of the ramp is anyway. I mean, cards that make treasure in red are good, but yeah. And we do have the Financier. It is harder to look at it as a ramp card because, you have to be behind for it to give you the treasure. So, it can kind of end up ramping you, I guess, in the really long run, but in the immediate future after you play it, it doesn't really. All right, I like the Werefox a lot. Combat Trick aura on one side and decent creature on the other. I do like the Bruiser okay. I mean, having one of those in at the top curve of like all your aggro decks seems pretty reasonable, as we saw in our last draft. Green does feel pretty open. Still could be red as our second color. We don't have anything so good in white. I mean, I think Woodland Acolyte is better than Picnic Ruiner, but not by a ton. And who knows what we'll pick up. Yeah, I don't love the Sage. Beanstalk Worm's not terrible. Redcap Thief isn't either, though. And yeah, maybe that's what I want to take a little more than Beanstalk Worm. Like, if we're not... The adventure side just isn't that good in Limited. Like, there are lots of situations where it doesn't do anything. So I think we take the Thief here. Now we'll take a Genealogist. We could use some enchantment payoffs. We're doing pretty well on those. Enchantments, that is, not on the payoffs. It doesn't really need to be two creatures that straight up win you the game. I mean, if you pay 8 and get like a 5-drop and a 6-drop, which you're pretty likely to do in a green deck looking at your top 20, that is going to win you the game. Like, it's a very powerful 2-for-1 that adds two things. You know, it adds them to the board. It doesn't just... Obviously, you have to bargain. If you don't bargain, it's terrible. Like, it's an F, because 8 mana, draw 2 is not what you want to be doing. But 8 mana, slam the two best creatures probably left in your deck. By the time you cast that, you probably have less than 20 cards in your deck. It's usually going to be enough to win you the game. The problem is, setting it up is far from a guarantee. I think I want the Oof a little more than Beanstalk Worm. Doesn't look like it wheeled. All right, we'll take a Witch Stalker. I mean, if we end up in red-green, we may end up with enough high-power things for it to be okay. It's not terrible in blue-green either because it's a good blocker, but green seems very open, and I'm less sure about anything else. Like what we're going to grab on the other side of things. You know, Witch's Mark is certainly playable, unlike Eerie Interference. So, in fact, I'll just stick it in our deck. Yeah, Tracker, if we were going to be a ramp deck, isn't terrible. I do like this Hex Mage. Like, it just gives you so much value for 1 mana in this format. I mean, it's not that hard to get a ton of value out of getting 2 permanents for 1 mana. Okay, so Royal Treatment's a nice trick. Return from the Wilds is ramp, but I don't really think we're a ramp deck at this point. Charade is cool, of course, but blue didn't look open at all, and neither did white doesn't look especially open either. I should probably take a green card to be on the safer side of things. I mean, I like the Courtier, too, if we were doing better with auras and stuff, but I think Royal Treatment's good enough if we're an aggro deck that we probably just grab it. Okay, so Imidane's cool, but actually not amazing. She might be the best thing in this pack. But we'll see. Leyline of Abundance is not worth playing in Limited. I mean, it's probably just going to be better to take, like, Cut In than it is Imidane, sadly. If we had other ways to do direct damage right now, I think I'd be more interested. But right now, to me, it looks like we're going to be red-green. And I think I want Cut In, if that's the case. Okay, the Bolt is pretty good. I think it is what we take here. Another Werefox. I think I like that a little more than the Giant. You know, if I had the 8 mana sorcery to ramp into, I'd probably take the Giant, but I don't, so. Wouldn't hate picking up that the 1 red mana trick here. Okay. we'll take Torch the Tower here. I do really like up the Beanstalk in the right deck. Wouldn't hate a Genealogist, but Torch is basically not something you ever pass. I mean, especially if you're in red. 1 red, deal 2 that has big upside. We definitely don't have enough high curve things for Tracker, and Leaping Ambush is just a really bad trick, especially in a world where you have tricks attached to your creatures. Two W, draw a card. Oh, maybe. Ooh, I do want a Minecart Daredevil. So it gives us a 4-power thing early. Man, seeing Sir Armont here is a little sad for our potential green-white deck. And we could try to splash it. We do have a bunch of auras. We have a little bit of fixing. Not a lot, though. So if I did take it, there's a chance we don't play it, but it does have an even higher ceiling than the Daredevil. The Daredevil being a trick on one side and a 4-power thing on the other side is really good. Yeah, I'm probably just supposed to take the Daredevil. If I end up with enough... If I was gonna end up with enough fixing, it might be a little better. We do have the Fawn, which I kind of forgot is fixing. I do think we take another one of those here over Cut In. So it might be worth splashing this, but we probably need better mana than what we have right now to try and jam it into our deck. Because just being able to cast the Mend Half is a bad card. Like, 1 green, put a card from your graveyard on top of your library is basically unplayable. You know, it's card disadvantage, and it's not even like some card disadvantage is like you search up the best card in your library or whatever, right? That's not. And you can't use it early, like, at all. So it's not something I love. Ooh, I do like the Recruiter. Looks like we're going to be an aggro deck again, huh? Different kind of aggro deck, but an aggro deck nonetheless. So yeah, it's nice that these the Fawns help you play the off-color Imidane Recruiter's adventure. Yeah, of course Sir Armont has been incredibly good. That's just like an insanely good card. Yeah, we don't really... I mean, this would give us fixing, but... Well, we already do have a Witch's Mark, actually. So I will take Return. Does give us another source of fixing in case we're tempted by something. So does Redcap Thief. Now, if I saw Sir Armont, I think I'd be a little more likely to take it between those last 2 picks, but... Yeah, I think we go ahead and grab a Bellowing Bruiser for the top of our curve. I did mention earlier I kind of want one. Put this in our deck for now, I guess. The Acolyte is a little better to fix, maybe. I mean, to play, maybe, but... it is still a pretty awkward thing to splash overall, I think. I do love Two-Headed Hunter. Bramble Familiar is really good too, but honestly, it has this late game upside that makes it a lot better than the Fawn, but in the early game, it's not that much better. And Two-Headed Hunter is just a beating. Like, it gives us another combat trick attached to a really good creature. I think it's just better than the Familiar. I think maybe if it was pack 1, pick 1, I'd take the Familiar over it. But it's pretty darn close. I mean, this is a 2-for-1 most of the time. Be cool if the Daredevil wheels, too. Okay. Fortunately, this is not a very good virtue for limited. Garruk's Uprising is interesting. I don't think we have so many 4-power or more things that I really want to grab it here. especially when there's just a Torch the Tower sitting down here. So we definitely grab the Torch. Maybe it wheels. You know, it's not something every deck wants, and if it wheels, we'll definitely take it, but we will take the removal over it. Frantic Firebolt's not terrible for us, but, you know, this pack doesn't have a lot of options. I could grab the Prism to have even more fixing, but I don't feel that desperate for it. Probably don't play Return from the Wilds in this deck in the end. We have a decent number of instants and sorceries. I mean, we're probably going to end up cutting some, but then we have the adventures too. So I think getting to 3 on Firebolt will be a reasonable expectation. And if you're doing that, it's pretty good. And then it has, you know, the upside of killing something huge sometimes. Ooh, so yeah, we want Feral Encounter. I wouldn't hate another Vanguard, but this is a removal spell that draws you a card, basically. It doesn't always line up that you get the card, but that's kind of how it works. You look at the top 5, grab a creature that you exile that you can play until the end of your turn, and then when you go to combat, one of your creatures does damage to one of theirs. So it's a good one. It's a good card to get. Torch the Tower number 3. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. Torch the Tower number 4. Is that overkill? Probably not. I mean, it's just, if we're an aggro deck, paying 1 mana to get like 3 and 4 mana creatures out of the way is like a big deal. And I think we are probably fairly aggressive. I mean, we do have a lot of spells, partly because we're going to have 4 Torch the Towers. But what else am I going to take out of this pack? Like, Root Rider Fawn and the Giant are okay, but they're not like going to make our deck way more aggressive either. So I may as well just grab another Torch, I think. Torch cannot go face. I wish. I wish when you you could go face with it when you bargained it, but you can't. All right, we'll grab a Giant now. Deck has a bunch of good tricks in it, most of which are attached to creatures. So the Daredevil Wield, which I'm pretty happy about, speaking of tricks attached to creatures. And so did the Uprising. Gonna have some trims to make for sure. So did the Vanguard. Okay. Red-green was open, I think. It's safe to say. Of course, these 2 cards are horrible, so the fact that they're both still there doesn't necessarily mean red-green's open, but we saw lots of other signs to indicate it was. Hey. That was weird draft. I mean, it didn't feel like it was crazy open till the end there, but we got lots of playables there. Got some trims to make, and I think some of them are pretty easy. Like, I doubt we play Witch's Mark in this kind of deck. Firebolt may not really be worth it. I mean, we're going to be leaning on our Torch the Towers the most, and combat tricks to, like, run our opponent over. And this takes enough setup. I mean, we do have 4 Torch the Towers, which make Frantic Firebolt better, but we have enough removal without it, and it's more finicky than the rest of our removal is. Yeah. We don't have a lot of food for the Scavenger, but it's kind of okay on its own, but at the same time, probably don't really need it. The Red Cap Thieves aren't amazing. I mean, they do give us an easier way to ramp into, like, our really big stuff, but we don't have that much to ramp into, frankly. But, you know, between the 3 Fawns and the 2 Red Cap Thieves, I can probably cut some number of them. The nice thing about the Thieves thieves is that they give us access to the recruiter. Giant's not great in our deck. It is 4 power. I mean, we have lots of ways to make our things have 4 power with rolls and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, the Thief, I mean, you could say the same thing about Root Rider Fawn is the thing. I think maybe cutting one of each makes sense, but I don't think we cut all of either. I mean, the thing is, the Fawns also help us play off-color things. So maybe they just are better. They probably are. I think we do just cut both, because these help us play our one off-color adventure, and they still ramp us. And I could still maybe cut one more without feeling terrible about it. Probably don't really want the Witch Stalker. I mean, we're going to have 3 power. I mean, I guess we do have Daredevils and stuff, but it's still kind of a weirdly defensive creature. But we also don't have that many 2s, I guess. You know. So how many 4 power or more things do we have that are just naturally 4 or more power for Garruk's Uprising? We've got the 2 Werefoxes, the Giant, the Hunter, the Bruiser, the 2 Vanguards, plus 2 Minecart Daredevils. And then on top of that, yeah, that may not quite be enough, honestly. I mean, the Trample matters, for sure. And it will draw us when it enters. Draw us a card when it enters a lot of the time, but I do wonder whether it's worth it in the end in this deck. Sort of feels like it isn't. You know, a 3 mana, if we're an aggro deck, a 3 mana card that doesn't add to the board is probably not where we want to be. And I think that means we can also cut our Giant without feeling too bad about it. Trying to decide if I'm okay with going to 16 lands here, because we've got the 3 Fawns, and then all of these, sure, we have a 6-drop, but we can play it earlier. So it's not really a 6-drop. So I kind of think going to 16 lands is okay here with the 3 Fawns and everything. And then we cut one more card. Maybe it's Torch the Tower number 4. I don't really want to lose any more creatures, and we have plenty of removal between the Torches, the Bolt, the Encounter, and the Curse. So yeah, I think we'll go down 1 Torch. And I think this is what our deck ends up looking like. So it's another deck that isn't that synergistic. It's just sort of an aggro deck with a bunch of combat tricks stapled to creatures, which I think is a pretty powerful thing, but not exactly synergy. And of course, this is what our hand looks like. We'll be mulliganing. At least they're going first, I guess. Okay, this one works for me. I think we're going to put back a forest. Yeah. Hey, look at that. What are they gonna do? Candy Grapple. So they're like legit, you know, if you have the land, it can feel pretty good. Problem is you just don't always have the land. Okay. Let's play another one. So they're going to play out theirs, which is not... And they're going to play out their big 5-4 probably, which is not ideal. I kind of think I'm just supposed to play Two-Headed Hunter here, so that next turn I can cast Feral Encounter and kill the worm. I mean, the only bummer is I can't leave up Royal Treatment, and that's going to hurt potentially, but... But there's a good chance, I mean, if they don't kill my Two-Headed Hunter... I can Feral Encounter. Pretty good chance we draw a card we can play with 3 mana. And we kill their Beanstalk Worm. Like, that's going to feel pretty good. We can still kill it. We are not going to block, though. We'll take a big 6 here. Okay, so... Look at the top 5 cards of my library. I mean, I could go a different route and use Royal Treatment, I guess, plus Curse of the Werefox. Would that do enough? No. Yeah, so let's Feral Encounter. Alright, so we got a Daredevil, which is not the most exciting option in the world. But, you know. It's not bad either. Then we go to combat. Get rid of the worm. They know we have Minecart Daredevil. Okay. Yeah, and then we're just going to cast this as a creature. Pretty good 2-for-1. I definitely block the Werefox if it attacks us. You know, block with the Daredevil. Could easily have a trick, of course. Yeah, like that. That really hurts. Double strike on Ferocious Werefox. That is a beating, that's for sure. Dang, look at all that gas. Okay. Somniphage is pretty big right now. And I can only get the toughness on this up to not high enough. Yeah, so I guess we use the curse here and kill the werefox. Which will make this a 7/7. So, Royal Treatment. I'm 1 mana shy of being able to use all 3 of these, which would obviously make a pretty big difference. But I can't quite do it. So I think we just have to kill the werefox. Which unfortunately makes that creature huge. We do get to smash in for 6, though. Oh yeah, I would only be able to have 1 roll anyway, so it wouldn't even work the way I wanted it to. Do we chump here? Probably. Okay. That does mean I can kill this. Then they can swing back for 6-ish. Okay, so I think... attacking with Two-Headed Hunter first makes sense here. Yeah. Attack with the Hunter. Okay, so we get in for the 6. They do have some food over there. Then X equals 4 with bargain, unlike the mistake we made yesterday. They're at low enough life now, even with the food, that, like, they're in some pretty big trouble in terms of my Two-Headed Hunter. I hope they brick on their draw, though. They probably kind of have to for us to have a shot, and they could. Surely they didn't top deck removal or a haste creature or something. Not quite. They did top deck something that lets them do 1 short of lethal here. Okay. Well, they have to block my Two-Headed Hunter or die, and then I can play Werefox and double block their Two-Headed Hunter. Works for me. Okay, so Royal Treatment. We need to have our Fawn untapped, so I can't use the Trample trick, unfortunately. It's a battle of Two-Headed Hunters. Draw land! Nice. That was... We were both at low life and facing down huge menace creatures, and I just happened to have the cards I needed to not get destroyed. Ooh. It's an interesting hand because obviously you could probably kill a couple early things and try to wait out drawing a forest, but that seems like a bad idea. This one is better. We don't have any early plays, but I'm leaning towards putting back Cut In. I could put back the Vanguard, but yeah, I mean, I think we want... This way we have, like, mid-game creature removal, late-game creature, / maybe we get to blow up an artifact or enchantment early. Don't really want to give back a land in that situation. Probably going to draw all lands now, though, that I made that decision. Nice. Something to be said for trying to just play like a turn 3 Werefox. Okay. Also something to be said for just casting this as an adventure and sticking a bunch of counters on Root Rider Fawn. It's a little weird, maybe, to put the counters on the Fawn, but I guess I can also cast Picnic Ruiner and Ferocious Werefox instead. But yeah, Counterspell is likely for sure. But I think it's still probably worth a shot. We can't do much this turn anyway. Like, if I had a really good option that would add to the board, I mean, playing Picnic Ruiner does add to the board, but not that much, so see what they do about this. Could have played the Werefox too, but like none of it is that exciting, and yeah, that ends up being okay, I think. At least I used all my mana. You know, they would have countered a creature if I tried to play it anyway. Well, now we will just play a Werefox. I can blow up that food. I mean, if they're tapped out, sometimes it's not a terrible plan. Oh, man. That is not good. Okay. Well, I'm glad I held on. Well, this would have been even better because I could have destroyed it and then had a big creature around, but, you know. We do still get to kill it, so could be worse. I don't like that my hand is empty, but we have 6 drops and stuff in our deck, so I kind of need to play out my lands. They definitely have control of this game, that's for sure. Oh, hey, look at that. Blowing up the food is honestly better than blowing up the Nightmare. I mean, neither is that exciting, but I don't really want to let them scry if I can help it. Starting out a card behind against them was rough. Okay, see if they have another counterspell. Feels like it. They seem like a pretty legit control deck. Well, maybe not. So they can tap down my Vanguard once. Well, I think we just cast it. Tap the Vanguard. I'm guessing. We do have two pretty beefy creatures on board. They do have lifelink online, but it can't gain them that much life unless they spend a bunch of mana. So that's kind of okay with me. Well, I guess we're just going to try to race. I mean, it's not a race I love our chances of, especially because they have real cards in their hand and we don't, but, you know. Yeah. Drops them to 7. Yeah, that probably ends any chance we had. What do we have on top? I mean, that would have been pretty nice if they hadn't freeze down our board. Yeah, and they have lethal. So, we lose. Thank you for the follow, Cardantis. Did feel bad in the end to hold on to that third land in our when we mulliganed. But when we had the 6-drop in our hand, it didn't really feel right for me to, like, throw a land away. Okay. Very slow hand, but we have both our colors. And, yeah. We drew into a 3-drop at least. I should give it double strike. So yeah, I think we're just going to cast the Daredevil since we need a creature on board for all the other cards in our hand to matter. They probably have counter magic anyway, but... makes sense. It's going to be sad to use cut in and then not have anything to put it on, but we're definitely going to have to do it because Hilda is... kind of insane. So, yeah. We're going to get a young hero roll and have nothing to put it on, but... but I think it's okay to spend our turn destroying Hilda. I wonder if their hand is just filled with tap effects right now. Yeah, let's just try to play this out as a creature. Okay. Well... yeah. We're going to put 3 counters on Two-Headed Hunter. I may as well attack first, because if I can get him to double block, I can really blow them out. I'm going to kill the unassuming Sage either way, but if they double block here and I can torch the Sage, then I kill both of them, so... I could also just play Picnic Ruiner, honestly, to have a big creature around. Maybe that's just better. Especially because I have a Royal Roll and a Monster Roll. Yeah, let's just play the Ruiner. Means we're going to take a big hit here, but it's not that hard for us to have, like, a massive turn. I keep looking at their creature and then at mine, which is, like, what you do when you have a fight effect. I can't imagine what they have in blue and white that's making them do that. Yeah, so we're going to take 8. A tap effect is reasonably likely. We could try to go for lethal here. But with all the mana they have, I think that's a horrible idea. Horrible. So, let's play Red Tooth Genealogist first and see what happens. Yeah, so they have a freeze effect, which I thought seemed reasonably likely. Okay, so they are tapped out now, huh? How close can I get to lethal here if I play my Recruiter? Pretty dang close. So put Royal Roll here. So that's already doing 6 on its own. Then we play Recruiter. Should make it do 8, 10, 12. Yeah, they only have 1 white up now, so I think we go for the lethal. All in, I guess, but, you know. What are you going to do with 1 white mana? Hopefully not ruin my life. Oh. They're still dead, though, right? 6, 9, 12, because this will still get double strike. Yes. Nice. Imidane's Recruiter is so good. I loved it in the set review, but these last 2 drafts, it's been a really big beating. I mean, I think we can keep this one. We have enough green cards, and we can even filter if we have to, so... Uh-oh. We do have exile removal. We don't have it right now, but we do have it. So maybe we'll find it. Yeah, we definitely just take 1 from that thing. Where's the exile removal? Come on. I mean, I can kill it, but The whole exile removal part is a big problem. We do have 3 Torch the Towers. Surely we'll draw 1 before they can generate too much insane value. I wonder whether it's still worth just killing it here and making them cast that again. I mean, next turn they'll cast it and replay it probably, so probably not. The bummer is I can't really play anything that's going to scare them that much anyway this turn. I could kill the Warehouse Tabby, and then I guess I have a 2/4. Yeah. That might just be the best bet here. Come on, torch the tower. We have a 10% chance of drawing torch the tower. Dang. They're going all in on that thing. Does hurt. So I could blow up the enchantment, which probably is what I'm going to do here. They can get it back, but not for like a really long time. And then play the Witch Stalker. I think we just pass, sadly. Not really the beatdown right now, mostly because this will just grind out so much value that... Of course, I don't have a 4th land, and like if I knew they weren't going to have a 4th land, going after them more is probably what I would have done. But yeah, we can cast this Adventure if we draw another land. Welcome to Sweet Tooth. There it is. Okay, that makes me feel a little better about everything. Goodbye. Do I just play my Recruiter here? No, because then this won't be able to attack. Doesn't seem that good. Although, this is actually pretty good. So, we'll put 3 counters. It counts itself, right? It does count itself. I think we'll put them all on the Witch Stalker. And attack them for 6. So, Ruiner plus Recruiter is a pretty awesome turn that I'd like to have. I'd really like to have it now. Looks like we're going to get to do it. Oh, except we only have 1 red mana. That does complicate things. It means my Fawn is going to be tapped, which I guess is okay, but... So yeah, let's play Ruiner. And then Recruiter. Attack with everything. Oh yeah, Recruiter. It's okay. I haven't been like ultra impressed with it. Obviously, in that particular game, it was awesome because our opponent was stumbling on mana, and we could just go all in on it, and it was highly unlikely in red green they'd be able to kill a huge fierce Witch Stalker, so it ended up being good in that game, but I honestly think it's probably better in blue-green than in red-green, even though it's like supposed to signpost the red-green deck. But the reason I think it's good there is because that deck's more interested in having a defensive 2-drop. Whereas blue-green is... where red-green isn't so much, I don't think. All right, looks pretty good. I'm glad I can kill that right away. We even get a mana advantage out of it, which is pretty great. So here's a turn. I could play Witch Stalker and then Daredevil next turn. Like, that's a thing. And then we still have the Picnic Ruiner combo lying around. Yeah. It's also good with the Curse if we really need to kill something. Okay. Yeah, I think we just cast Daredevil as a creature here. Attack him for 3. Alright, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's way too dangerous here to try to put counters on this thing with Picnic Ruiner, so I don't think we do it. I might try to give it Double Strike. Those are both pretty dangerous propositions, though, because if our opponent has like 3 different cards at common or uncommon, they can respond and really wreck us. So okay. Do I try to do it now, especially because it didn't look like they had anything? Kind of think we do. Now I can give it Double Strike. Swing for 14. Well, nothing I could have done would have stopped them from using removal because this is a sorcery. So, yeah, we actually had lethal because Royal Treatment plus 2-Headed Hunter. Oh. So, yeah, I mean, the 4 decks that I've had winning records with, counting this one, because we just got to that point, all have been fairly assertive. The only one I would say wasn't aggressive was the blue-red one from early access. But it still had, like, lots of early drops. So, you know, this is a pretty good hand. Probably play the Fawn on turn 2. Does set up some more things. Potentially, anyway. So black-white, I haven't really seen this deck fully pan out yet, but they do have an early enchantment payoff. It's not the most exciting one, but it is one. Well, that's bad. If I draw a way to kill it, that's what I'm going to have to do. That's not quite going to get us there. I mean, I guess if they block and I can use Minecart Daredevil, that'll do it. Yeah, that's not terrible. And then we can still play Picnic Ruiner in our second main phase. Yeah, kind of didn't think they were going to block. But that's a very bad thing to have your opponent play on turn 3 that you can't kill. If I draw a land, I can hit it with cut in, at least. But these rat tokens are going to be kind of a beating. It's very likely they have rat out or something, so I think I'd probably just take 6. Okay. So, we have more options now. I really don't love cut in here that much. But I don't love Feral Encounter either. The problem is, I'm still going to be facing down a bunch of big creatures that I can't block very well, but I guess it's what I have to do. Is it just better to attack here, honestly? Because I'm not going to have any good blocks. I guess I can block rat tokens, but if they have rat out, yeah, I'm just going to attack. I mean, it's a race we're going to lose right now, but... Also makes our Feral Encounter a little better. That's pretty cool, a Griffinary deck. Well, that's bad. So we go we go to 6. Stab Wound is a beating here. Yeah. An absolute beating. Guess I'm going to attack with the Picnic Ruiner and see what happens. I imagine they take 1. Or 2, I guess. I could beam Splitter Bolt my own creature. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Ooh, it doesn't work that way. This only, the downside about this fight spell is I can only use it before combat to get the fight effect, so I can't actually do that here. Okay, so we're gonna play this as a creature. Next turn, I can Feral Encounter and get rid of my Ruiner, but it'll drop me to 4 by then. I guess maybe just having it to block might have been better. I take less damage that way, I guess. Could have given it Double Strike if I played this first, but I wanted to leave my options open. For if they blocked, I could have used a trick that still would have killed my Picnic Ruiner. Gross. Oh, we do have Royal Treatment, actually. So that helps. Does it help enough? Because I'm going to have to tap down a blocker. Yeah, I mean, it's still the best thing to do. So, they hit us for 4. Yeah, I can't take... Yeah, I'm dead. Because I take 4 and then lose 2. So. Stab Wounded. I'm just going to kill it in response because it's funny. Yeah, that game didn't go well. Did not go well. Where were our disenchants? Our disenchant adventure creatures would have been so good in that game. Right, looks pretty good. So we do have the turn 3 Daredevil, which always makes playing turn 2 Witchstalker a little more interesting. I think that is what I'll do. Could just play the giant here. Or that. Jeez. Well, at least they didn't adventure it. That's where it's a real beating. I could cast the Daredevil here just to buff the Witchstalker and attack for 5. It's not a terrible plan. But I kind of think playing the Fawn and leaving up mana for Royal Treatment is probably a little better. Yeah. We can still kill this thing in the relatively near future, so I'm not too alarmed about it. Okay. Trying to decide if I want to cast Royal Treatment just to have something to bargain so that I can kill Decadent Dragon, but man, that seems pretty rough. Does seem rough. But if I don't kill that dragon, it's going to keep ramping their mana. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even need to do it because I had Root Rider Fawn. Well, I still don't have to do it, I guess. That's less bad. I mean, it still wasn't an optimal play, because then I would still have that trick, but, you know. Certainly a misplay. Yeah, we're going to take 4. I'm more interested in killing the giant. Unfortunately, this is a young roll, which doesn't work super well with either of our creatures right now, but works a little. And we will end our turn. I could attack just to make this a 2-4, I guess, but seems like leaving up the tricks is probably better than getting a 2-4 right now. Well, that's annoying. So they tap. You'd have to pay 1 to tap that, but I'm sure they will. Don't think we're going to win this one. Just such an awkward spot right now. Guess we just play this as a creature and hope that works out. But all they need is another enchantment, and we're pretty much dead. Maybe they don't have it, but... Well, we did get rid of that. I'm a little surprised they played that way. They have almost enough mana to cast both sides, and they could have played both of these and just swung with everything. Fascinating. And then we draw a Torch to Tower. We might dig our ways out of this. Shockingly. So this will get a counter. Yeah. I think we attack with it. Because then if they block, we have a trick that can blow them out. If they don't block, that's okay too. Yeah. We just play a 4-3 in our second main phase. If they start bricking on draws here, we might find a way to win this thing after that. But yeah, I think they made a mistake on that turn. We kind of stole a win there. Or got given one. I don't know, however you want to say it. Because, yeah. I mean, if they had just played both those creatures in the same turn and swung out, pretty much would have been the end of the game for me. It's like they forgot it gave haste or something. Looks pretty good. Agatha's Soul Cauldron's kind of interesting. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Overall, I don't think it's that good because, for example, right now it can't do anything. And not doing anything is kind of a problem. Guess I should have played a Mountain because then I could Torch and play the Daredevil's ability. And now I can't do that. But... that's probably okay. Yeah. I guess just playing a 4-2 is fine. Guess I'll attack. Sure. But yeah, if I'd played a Mountain there, I could have Torched and done the +2/+1 for some extra damage. Which is probably a better turn than just playing a 4-2. I'm thinking. So if they put Gingerbread in the graveyard, they will be able to give creatures like the keyword ability, but we can just blow up the Soul Cauldron at some point. So, and if they try to use a trick here, I was gonna say we just blow them out. I think we just play a 4/3 now. Yeah, that's pretty good there. Well, we're just going to play huge menace creature, leave up towards the tower. Yeah, we're going to need a roll token. I mean, it's starting to be a problem. I think I hold on to the Oath just because we have so many cards that will give us the fodder we need to cast this. Of course, we also have the 2 adventure naturalized creatures, which would be great to draw right now. But this is going to start being a problem before long. They can give the Gingerbread ability to... Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So they could pay 1 and attack. And I can't... I mean, I don't have a good block anyway, but... some nice value. Starting to wonder if it's just worth playing the Oath here to have the extra body in terms of doing damage, but I don't think we do. No creatures left in the graveyard, so 4/4 is as big as that's going to get right now. Okay, so what does that do for us? I guess I make the 2 bodies right now. Oh, and now I can play the Oath if I want to. It doesn't do that much, honestly, because the counters are going to stick around. Right now, there's not another creature in the graveyard to be worried about. The ability that this has right now is the only thing it would immediately take away. I could blow this up so they stop cantripping, but with them at 7 life and Imidane's Recruiter in my hand, it's probably just going to be better for me to play this out. Hope I draw a creature this turn and just slam everything and swing. Yeah, I think that's our best option here. Giving up this 2/2 to kill this. Let's go to combat, see if they do anything. I don't imagine they do. Do I want to give up a 2/2? Was it lethal if I just went for a Cruder swing? Maybe it was. Yeah, I may have missed lethal there. Good job, me. I'm just going to cast it as a creature with the Cruder in my hand. Because, yeah, Menace... Well, I wouldn't have had these bodies, so no, it wouldn't have been lethal. I want to draw another creature I can play. That's the ideal draw here. Hope they attack me, frankly. Gives us a much better chance if they attack us. Okay. Well, now it doesn't. Oh, wait. Their creature still dies. I drew Torch the Tower, huh? Well, we didn't draw a creature, but... What happens if I give up a token to kill the Genealogist? So I lose a token, and then they take 9 is what happens. That would mean I still have lethal now, I guess? Yeah. Yeah, I don't even have to use Torch the Tower. Because I have 2 blockers. Yeah. Very curious that they attacked me, I think. When they knew I had Imidane's Recruiter waiting in the wings. Well, I guess they used that fight effect, too. They should have fought something else. I don't know. Maybe they were just dead no matter what they did. Alright, we're on the last game with this deck. We'll either get our 7th win or our 3rd loss. Looks pretty good. All right. You know, we've seen a lot of enchantments, and we have 2 of the disenchant naturalize, I guess, is more what it is, adventure creature, but we haven't drawn them when our opponent has played real enchantments. We do have our oof, of course, but... Candy Grapple. Man, this is the 3rd time in 6 drafts I've seen Skitter. I can kill it next turn, but by then they'll have gotten enough value that I'm pretty sad about it. Given that we have 2 naturalize effects in our deck, I think we can just play out the oof here and not feel too bad about it. We lost once to Skitter. We killed Skitter the other time before too much happened. Oh, good. How good is that? We're going to take 4. Skitter plus Vampiric Rites is also completely absurd. Well, let's hope they don't have a trick. If they have a trick, I think we just lose. Because they're just going to keep making rats. They can sack them for value, and so forth. Okay. These rat tokens are still a huge problem, though, with Tattered Ratter in play. We need to draw a Torch the Tower. Okay. At least playing this means Tattered Ratter won't attack us. Oh, Lord. Destroyed by rat tokens. I haven't had it happen to me in this format yet. Okay, we can kill Tattered Ratter now, at least. That's good news. And I can wait to do it until after they attack me, although it's riskier in terms of tricks and stuff. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to kill it now. We're still in a ton of trouble because they just have a wide board and Vampiric Rites and whatnot, so yeah. So we're going to try to kill both of these. 2 of those. Well, it is easier for them to kill our Werefox with a trick there, so I think I do just block rats. They have the Crescendo. I don't think that card's particularly good, but obviously when you get Lord Skitter and stuff online, like, you know, it's going to go pretty well. If you have enough ways to go wide, it's probably worth it, but it's just been a while since a Trumpet Blast effect has actually been good. Well, we got 6 wins. I'll take it. I think we probably only deserved like 4 of them. We had a couple games sort of have weird things lead to us winning, but our opponents making mistakes generally.